Every company that grows faces the same risk. Success can blur the very identity that made it possible in the first place. At the beginning, everything feels authentic. Values are lived, decisions are fast, and people know why they are here. But as the company expands, that sense of identity starts to stretch. You hire new people, open new projects, chase new goals, and suddenly what once felt natural needs to be defended. In this episode, we'll explore how to scale without losing what makes you unique: the beliefs, the culture, and the way of doing things that gave the company its soul. Because scaling is not just about doing more, it's about doing it without becoming someone else. Welcome to the Scaling Dilemma. Today I'm talking with someone who's been here since the early days, who's seen the company evolve through every phase of growth. Not from the outside looking in, but from the heart of it, as a leader who's helped define what makes this place different. Victor, thanks for being here. Thanks for being in the Scaling Dilemma.
Thank you for having me here.
So, Victor, you already know what we're going to talk about, but I want to go straight to the point. There's been a lot of introduction for this episode, and a lot of waiting, right? A lot of waiting, like
Yeah.
matching schedules and this kind of thing. But anyways, thank you for being here. So let's go straight to the point. Um, well, you are CEO at a big tech consultancy firm, right? Called MagmaLabs. What can you tell us about that in general?
What I can tell you about MagmaLabs or about my role or about what?
Yeah, both, both. I mean, what does MagmaLabs do, and then your role. That will be a great deal.
Okay. Okay. Well, we are that provide like different kind of services to our clients in different categories and verticals, such as web development, mobile development. We do staff augmentation. We also provide extra services as QA as a service. Uh, we do hiring as a service, headhunting as a service. We have product services are around some methodologies like design thinking, product design sprints, and more. Uh, and about the technologies or the tech stacks we use at the company. Um, the main ones or one of the main technologies we have been using along the years, it has been Rails, but also we start doing it Java, Python, Node.js, and for mobile development, React Native. And most of the verticals like that we have been working with are health tech, fintech, and also
AI recently,
e-commerce.
right?
Yeah, AI is one of the new ones, as everyone is doing it right now. We are about to launch some services around that area. I hope by next month they can be used up on our website, and our clients can benefit from it. It's like several sets of services from all the generative optimizations engines to agents creation, and also this new AI prototype lab where we provide clients a prototype, like a functional prototype in 1 week
Yeah.
for a fixed cost, right? So they can just start um, instead of having a deck of slides and trying to find investment
Mhm.
through a Google slide or PowerPoint, can present a prototype and and ask for money.
Awesome, really interesting. And you just mentioned something that gives me to this question. Like you mentioned, like you've seen through these years, right? Because I've seen really closely the process of Magma Labs, and I remember that when I first ran into Labs, um, everybody was telling that you guys were kind of different, right? It felt like the Google company in Mexico. You remember that because you had
Yeah.
such a culture that people wanted to immediately work there. I'm speaking about 10 years probably from now, and people wanted to work there because you were supposed to be different, right? And the question is this: what did being different mean back then?
Sorry, I have a little cough. Um,
One is really curious that you are such so into working remotely that you even post in this podcast episode, right? Like the coughing, right? Like no.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I think what MagmaLabs was different from the beginning was the kind of people who joined at that point was people who that I'm not saying that is not something that is going on like right now, but at that point there was people really curious, humble, and deeply collaborative. Um, that that sense of I'm trying just to put the words together. When you joins to a big company or huge company, sometimes you can get the feeling like you are just a number there.
Yeah,
Like if you can make your opinions, but maybe those opinions not gonna do like anything at all, right?
yeah.
So as we started like as a small group um, that loves to build things together and learn together and play together because there was what uh, since the beginning there was this feeling like everyone's opinion matters, right?
Yeah.
No matter the role, no matter anything else, so they can just make a comment or an observation, or give feedback uh, on how we in in different areas. And as it was in a small group, it was really easy to get the idea moving on as a team, right? So that that of openness and ownership, I think that was the main things that was like super different at that point. Um, that helps or shaped how we were working with clients and with each other at that point in time.
You spoke about, I mean, after in the aftermath, after all, values, right? Values and cores. I remember that you got those things. Do you remember which ones there were there in that precise document? Or I remember that we had a Slack bot, right? That shared values and this kind of stuff. Do you remember that? Because you mentioned collaboration, right?
Yeah.
What else do you remember?
Yeah. One of the like I will say the main ones was collaboration. Collaboration is part of it has been with us through whole through through all the years we have been together as a company. Um, as a matter of fact, is something that we use as a sales line because it's really true, and we really believe on that. Is that when they hire an engineer from MagmaLabs or any other service, they don't they they just not um, hire the engineer, that only engineer, because behind that engineer is a, a factory. So when they got stuck in some problem they're trying to solve, they can just reach out to the support team, to other engineers, to do pair programming sessions, to
Yeah.
to ask questions, to help others, and it's something that is really, really, really part of the difference here.
Growth brings distance, new people, new clients, new layers. But every leader who's been here long enough carries a quiet responsibility to make sure that what made the company special doesn't get lost in translation.
Mhm.
Everybody
Tell me,
was
tell
so
me.
collaborative. Yeah, everybody was so collaborative back then, and everything felt so natural. But the question is, did these values that you're mentioning came naturally or were they intentional? I mean, you had a plan or something?
So, I think everything as a nothing, and then we started like writing in we started writing those down. So
Okay.
at the beginning, like you need to how I can say this, decisions were always guide or lead by two things.
Hmm.
Like one of the things was doing it right for the clients
Okay.
and doing what it helps the most to grow, and not just only grow as to have more people on the team, but grow like in learning, as like in the ways in the experience we gain, and how we learn from that and improve, but also adding more people to the team, more people to the team, and you know that also leads to some complications, because the communication channels
Hmm.
um, increase as the people increase in the company. So you need to talk with person A, person B, but also and everyone has these channels of communications open as well, right?
So this is that what you're saying is this start organic, and then you map the values down, right? And then it just went like a process, right? But you experimented at the very beginning, and it helped, right?
Yeah, yeah, and also being honest as well. There might be some values that like a resonance, or or we really believe that those were the ones that we could use as as a fuel or something, that could carry the new people that we hire has those same values, and we can continue that same synergy
Yeah.
between each other.
I remember that at some point MagmaLabs experimented a a a growth sprint or something, how we call a rapid growth, right?
Mhm.
And what was the time or what happened at that time? I suppose that this happened, actually happened, that you were growing so fast in terms of head counting, right? And you say, okay, this has to be like a process written down on paper, because we can no longer afford to everybody is like disconnected from the values. Was there a time or not?
Yes, it is. It was like as startups or other kind of just you when you start when you start a company, you at the beginning is like it's really rare that you have everything in place, like processes and structures and departments as well. So as we start growing, we we start experimenting the feel or of having things in control without losing the flexibility.
Yeah.
So uh, one of the moments that we felt that things were changing was because as we are a consultancy firm,
Mhm.
when one or two big clients can change a lot in this area, because that means that maybe you need to hire like more people, but in a short period of time,
Yeah.
and you need really cautious of what you do, or which people you hire for those roles,
Mm-hmm.
because the culture is defined by the people who start the company, but it's also it got affected by the new people or the newcomers to the company. So you to hire for soul
Yeah.
and teach processes, because processes is something that you can teach.
Yeah.
To give a structure is something that you can teach, but you can teach passion or mindset, right?
Yeah. Hmm. And were there times when you guys made decisions that completely made sense in paper on paper, but at the end, they didn't feel right culturally? Speaking about culture, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, of course we are perfect, right? Like, and I
Mhm.
think nobody um, is or does, or well, is perfect. Um, there there were a few times that when to make decisions like on a rush, because th- this space has been had it had been reading a lot along the years. Every year we have different situation that affect or affects the companies. You can see this also this period from like no 2020
Yeah.
until now. All these wars started around the world. Then these big layoffs that we're having on these big tech companies, that affects, of course, affect the market, because you have more people available, but less job offers, and now that things are like everything everything that happens every year, it affects how you need to act, and sometimes you need to act in a rush, and if and it's sometimes it's really sometimes it's hard or complex
Hmm.
to be really um precise, or to have to take in considerations, like there is some values that you need to follow. Don't forget those. Remember, at the end, um, everything can grow and change, and whatever can happens. But what about your soul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real tension of scaling isn't between old and new. It's between what's essential and what's no longer serving you. And learning to tell the difference is one of the hardest part of leadership. Okay. Okay. So speaking about this soul situation and whatever, let's speak about a little about leaders, right?
Hmm.
I mean, leaders were in the first place here, right? They were here in the first place, and as the company grows, right, and start hiring new people, and they start growing in headcounting, how do you train leaders, right? That they go from this sense of emotion that everything is emotional, right? This rapport that you guys have, or this thing that makes you what you are in terms of culture. How do you train those leaders?
Mm. Well, first of all, you need to one of the it's not a formal train for that, but you need to lead by example, because you can have you can have a lot of handbooks or papers everywhere in your company that says, okay, you need to behave this, you need to learn this, you need to learn that.
Mhm.
But if they see see that you are doing like the opposite of what you are trying of what you are trying to teach, they will say, okay, you are saying this, but you are doing the opposite of what you are saying, right?
Mhm.
So um, if I summarize like the answers will be like lead by example, one of the things. The other thing will be have an transparent and honest conversations with them, provide feedback.
Mhm.
That's one of the best ways to train someone. Provide feedback so they can uh, try to change behaviors and in order to improve. And maybe another one, um, on the cultural side, as I already told you, like it's when we hire them, we try to check did they have this cultural fit, right?
Yeah.
It's not a simple task. It's not really simple to just in one interview say, okay, this has all the values that make some match uh, to our culture. But we have some strategies to identify those ones who has this more closer match or perfect match
Mhm.
in our culture. So that's why I say this like hire for soul and and teach processes because it's something that you can teach, right? So it's something that you cannot teach someone collaboration or honesty or like or values is not something that you can teach. I will say
Mhm.
is something that is come from anyone who joins.
Okay. And and this is how you train your leaders, right? But how do you how do you ensure that new leaders keep the DNA alive? Because I mean, you say lead by example and this kind of stuff, right? But culture can no longer just live in stories, right? It has to live in systems. That's my perception.
Yeah, mm, I will say is one can be like transparency and trust,
Hmm.
and to have some like principles that can help you through all these aspects. I don't think there is a perfect formula for it. Um, but one as you mentioned, you need to start like having something somewhere, right? So I will say, uh, y- uh, you have to codify your soul somewhere, right? You need to don't assume like just people just get it, right?
Yeah.
So you need to write it down. You need to tell stories. You need to have deep conversations. Sorry, deep conversations. Celebrate moments uh, on people who who represents those kind of values or situations. Like, hey, you're doing it super great. Oh, I really like when you do this and do that. Right. Those kind of things uh, can be simple, but they help a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, and the other can be keep the structure like flexible enough.
Hmm.
What I mean by that is processes should help people,
Yeah.
but not slow them down or slow the or kill creativity, right? Because
Okay.
it's something that happens a lot. Um, I have an example from from one of of some like a leader from some area, right?
Yeah.
At some point, this person didn't like too much to create, like, to check reports, numbers, and data, because she was thinking creativity was, uh, that was being holding her creativity on doing the things that
Yeah.
she is best at.
Mm-hmm.
And I just tried to change the way she was thinking on that. Like, you need to have, I will say, don't kill the creativity aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Use the data
Mm-hmm.
to make decisions.
Yeah.
And after you make those decisions, you can put all your creativity on how you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So use just the data, like all these numbers, to make like the best decisions possible
Mm-hmm.
with some support.
Yeah.
But after that, you can use your creativity and say, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this strategy. I'm gonna do this. Sorry, I'm gonna do these initiatives and things that helps how handle things, right?
Having these people is like these kind of people is like really I mean, it's striving, right? It's like, okay, I have a super creative person and whatever, right? But they don't follow processes and things like that. And you need, and in this person, these kind of people are like natural leaders, right? But then in documenting things, they are not that good. And this is a dilemma, right? Because
Mhm.
we how about new people, right? When they come and they go under their leadership, you just you can tell people how to act, but you can teach them by just telling. You have to show them how we act here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's, um, I will say in that in that case, it's like, uh, remember that leaders are the soul keepers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, People at the end doesn't follow or don't follow culture decks. They follow what leaders actually do day by day or
Yeah.
day to day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just not I'm not talking just like about like me being a leader, but there's like we have like a different, uh, leadership and management positions, along the company, and that behavior needs to be replicated in every in every point there. So when the people, um, read those decks, read those memos, read those, handbooks,
Mm-hmm.
they can see, okay, this is what I get from reading this,
Yeah.
but also I'm checking this example and I'm gonna follow this, right? So
Yeah.
this is when everything goes.
Perfect match.
Yeah,
Perfect
yeah,
match.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned something really interesting, right? Like management and leadership. So I learned from a person we had here that we manage projects, but we leader people, right? We lead
Yeah.
people. We lead people, and that's a really interesting concept, right? Because we you can manage culture, yes, in paper, right? With these
Mhm.
within these processes and whatever, but the way you actually lead, right? What is what I'm understanding from you, the way you actually keep your soul alive and doesn't left behind in papers and processes in documents is like showing, right? Showing.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they match. Okay, Victor, if you had to define the company's DNA in one sentence, what would it be?
Mm, I say, mm, what will be the best one? I say we grow
Mm-hmm.
through curiosity and
Yeah,
care.
curiosity and care.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. Yeah, I will say that.
Uh, it's like stay curious, right? What was that?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. The thing, right? Stay curious. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because curiosity keeps us, evolving.
Yes.
you know, uh, and care keep us humans.
Cool.
Keep
That
us.
was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. It really touched me. Victor, it's been a pleasure having you here in this Scale Dilemma. I hope we can uh record a new episode soon or sooner at least, right? Because we have several months trying to do this. But I'm more than happy to have you here.
Well, thank you. It was really a pleasure. Uh, I will say, if I look back, um, I think that what helped us scale without losing our essence and being intentional
Mhm,
about culture. mm, you can protect it by freezing it, right?
mhm,
You protect it by e- evolving it consciously with people who understand the meaning, and that's it. Thank you so much for having me here, and
And
it was a pleasure.
that was line I don't want to go, but we have to go. Yeah. Okay, Victor. Thank you very much. And let's see you here again in the Scale and Dilemma. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Scaling doesn't mean leaving your essence behind. It means finding a way to express it at a larger scale. So that growth amplifies who you are, not replaces it. Maybe that's a real challenge of leadership, to grow without forgetting, to evolve without erasing. Because in the end, what makes a company great isn't how big it becomes, but how deeply it stays connected to what made it worth building. Staying true to who you are is one side of the dilemma. But the next question is just as complex. When growth depends on technology, can you innovate fast without breaking what holds you together? That's a conversation for our next episode, the dilemma of technology.